The time God gave me a dream of Judgment Day. And no, this isn't fake. I'm not reading a script. This isn't AI generated. I'm just going off the top of my head because it happened. Dream happened in early March of 2023. And as recording, it is July 5th, 2023. So I'm still a barely new reborn Christian baby. But before I had this dream, I used to be a Christian. I was born Christian and I went to church every other week. I was forced to go to church camp. I prayed at dinner time. I thought I was a good Christian, right? And as soon as I moved out of my house into college, I said to God, I said, God, give me a few years. I know there's something up there, but give me a few years. I'm going to live my life. In 10 or 20 years, that's when I'll start, talking to you. So then I was living my life sinfully, but in my head I kept saying, I'm going to be godly soon. I kept saying, like, I'll be better tomorrow, stuff like that. I knew I was sinning, but I was like, tomorrow. So in early March, I went to bed, just a normal night, and I had a dream that will forever change me and save my life. So in this dream, I was able to think, I had a conscience, I was able to feel, I knew what I was doing. I didn't know why I was doing it, but I knew what I was doing. I could feel the grass, I felt the wind, I could count the leaves. It was the most surreal dream I've ever had. So in this dream, I started off in my aunt's house. And there's this one guy, and he was a friend of mine. I don't know who he was, but I knew he was familiar. And he committed murder. And he asked me, he said, Jack, I need you to help me separate the body and hide it into a barrel so people don't know. I remember in my head, I'm like, this is awful. Why would he do this? But I remember I kept saying, like, this is like, no one's ever going to find out. Like, it's fine. God forgives everyone. It doesn't matter. And just remember, guys, I knew what was happening, but I didn't know why I was doing it, why it was happening. So I didn't want to dismember this person. I don't know who it was, but I remember I was saying in my head, I know this is bad, but I'll be better tomorrow. That's exactly what I was saying in my head. And I felt time pass in this dream too. I remember while we were doing this horrendous act, it took a while. I remember it took a while. And as we were doing that, a huge explosion happened outside. And this is before I read the Bible, before I read the book of Revelation. I knew the Gospels a little bit because of Sunday church and whatever, but this is before I read the book of Revelation. So I go outside and I see the sky and it looks normal. And I'm like, where did this boom come from? And then it looks like someone just pulled a tablecloth off the table, right? It went like, whoosh, like a piece of paper just flew out. So it was blue and cloudy, and then it turns to oranges and red, and then you see giant flames in the horizon, like bending. Like it's I saw like the globe, right? Like I saw the flames like go up and then bend and touch each other. So I don't know if that means like how big the flames were, like the whole earth was on fire. And that's funny because when I was the most corrupt is when God came back. Like I was doing this horrendous act. I was very corrupt and I didn't even care. Like I was content with my wickedness, and that's when he came back, is when I was the most corrupt. But anyways, back to the dream. So as this flames was going up, I started to run back to my old house where I used to live. So yes. So I run out of my aunt's house. I remember me running back to my house, and I was bawling, crying, and I could just feel the heat slowly temp up. I felt like God was just turning the temperature up, like that, just slowly temp up. So then I run inside. I basically can't breathe because I'm crying so hard. And my mom is there. And my mom is happy as ever. She has a big smile on her face. There's not a single tear in sight. And I am confused. I run up to her and I say, Mama, I messed up, Mama. I messed up. That was word for word. I would never forget those words. And she said to me, no, you're fine. Like, what are you crying about? You're going to heaven. And then I said, no, Mama, no, I messed up. So what I think this means is, on the outside, I portrayed myself as a good Christian. My shell was a good Christian, but on the inside, I knew I was full of sin. I didn't repent. I lived in my wickedness. I was content with it. I wasn't very Jesus-like. So I'm still crying. I remember I was in my kitchen. I grabbed my Bible, which is conveniently on the counter, and I run through my living room and I open up the screen door and I see this huge bright light in the sky, and it didn't speak to me, it didn't show any signs, but I knew that was God. There weren't words on it saying I am God or I am Jesus. It was just a huge shining bright in this red sky. The whole sky was red and orange and on fire. And then up top of it was just a bright shining light. And it was so bright, but I could look in it. It was brighter than the sun, but I could still look in it because I was making eye contact. I never looked away. And I remember I was running towards the bright light, which makes no sense because it's up here and I'm like running right here. But But I remember I was running towards the bright light, crying with my Bible, saying, "You came back too early, it's your fault." So I was blaming God for him coming back. He gave me all these signs, he gave me my whole life to repent, to try to find him, but I just was prideful and I wanted to live in my own sin. So I was blaming God for my fault. And as I said that, I remember the sky, it like unzipped. Like it wasn't like, there weren't like little teeth and zippers, but I saw like, like bloop, basically like, I don't know, like unzipped. And out of it is a 3-headed red dragon. And it's falling towards me. It's not flying down. It's not gliding down. He's falling like he was just beaten in battle. Like he's just like he has 1% of his body life in him. Like he's just defeated. Like he's tired. Like he's just over with it. He was just falling. His body was going down and his head was, his neck was like this, like pew. So he was like basically dead, but on his last limb. When I looked at that, and then I looked at the bright stars, like if that's God, that must be the devil. So the devil landed with me and was burning with me. He wasn't ruling me with a giant pitchfork and a big old smile on his face on his throne. He was burning with me. He was defeated. When he fell out of that sky, he wasn't gliding down in triumph that he deceived half the earth to go to hell. He was falling down. He was defeated. God won. He lost. So after I saw the devil fall, I said to God, if you would have given me more time, I would have been better. Please, if you would have given me more time, it's your fault. So again, after I saw him, I got frantic. I was like, okay, there's God up there, not with me. Satan is with me. That's not good. So then I started frantically saying, like, it's your fault. You couldn't have done this to me. How could you do this? Why would you leave me behind? But the truth is, if you don't want God in your life, like how I was living, then he won't force you to be in his life. He granted me my wish. I didn't want him in my life, so God said, all right, I won't be in your life. So then I actually woke up, and I remember very sweaty. I was very sweaty. And then I realized this dream wasn't just a normal dream. It was a vision. A vision from God saying, if you continue this path, this will be where you end up. So then I opened the book of Revelation to see what this was even about. I don't know what this meant. I don't know who it's from at the time, because I was a very lukewarm Christian. So I was like, was this really a vision, or was this just me making it up? So I opened the book of Revelation, and you know what the book of Revelation says? Just the skies will roll back like a squirrel, and it will be on fire, burning, and the 3-headed dragon, which is a metaphor for Satan, will be released into the endless pit for eternity. So, that's what I saw. It also said the skies will be on fire and flames will reach up. I don't know if I said that. But I was on hell with Satan burning. I was not in heaven with God. And I was thinking, God, why did you give me this now? Why did you give me this vision? Why this vision now, and why me? Like, what? So in Acts 2:17, it says, in the last days, God says, I will pour out my spirit on all the people. Your sons and daughters will prophesy. Your young men will see visions. Your old men will see dreams. So what that means is that in the last days, God's going to pour out dreams and visions to men and women all around the earth. That's basically like a final push saying, all right, I'm coming. Now hurry up and spread the dreams for my lukewarm believers. Because again, guys, it doesn't matter if you believe in Jesus. Even the demons believe in Jesus. I believed in Jesus when I was in hell. But you have to have faith in Jesus, which is 100% trust in that man. I believe my neighbor exists. I don't have faith he can save my sins. I believe my neighbor exists. I don't have faith that he can raise me from the dead. It's all about that faith, guys. So then when God answered my question of why did he give me this dream, then I was asking, why me? You gave this dream to me because you're coming back soon. All right, that's understandable. But why me? Out of all the people, I'm not no Moses, I'm not no Samson, I ain't no David, I ain't no Solomon. Why me? And then I realized, what do I have that 99% of these people don't have? I have a massive, massive following. A lot of football stadiums hold, 35,000 people max? My total following's 2.4 million people. Now imagine how big that stadium would be. So God gave me this vision because I was misleading people in the wrong direction. I was blaspheming and slandering people's name for fame. And God said, hold on. I see your heart, and I see what you can do. It's not going to be slandering names. It's not going to be making fun of others. It's going to be spreading the gospel to all those 2.5 million people. Imagine how big that stadium would be. And yes, I'm losing followers. And yes, I'm getting hate DMs. But that is motivation. God says the world will hate you because it hated me first. Jesus said the world would hate you because of me. So when the world is hating me, that's great. I don't want to be a part of the world. I ain't trying to be part of the world. This ain't my home. I don't want to stay here. I'm trying to leave. I'm trying to go up top. I want to go home. Up there. That's my home. I got a big old house waiting for me. I got some golden streets. Got some milk and honey, whatever that means. If you guys enjoyed this, please comment down below and share this video because people won't like this video because it's the truth. And it's what I saw. And no one can tell me different. God bless, guys. Stay safe.